Thank you, Madam Chair. I was just wondering if the chair of the subcommittee would yield to a question. Can you tell me on the drag show that was funded in Ecuador, how much was that?
I have it here.
Sure.
It's actually even on the webpage. It wasn't a lot of money, but it was a drag show. As a matter of fact, if you'd like, I'd just give you this
No,
document.
I'm just asking you, and I don't want to use all my time up. If you could just answer the question, I'd
All right,
appreciate
I
it.
believe that one in Ecuador, I believe, was $20,000
For one drag show.
for. I don't know if it was one or multiple, but I have it here and I can share it with you.
Because I think it was for 13 drag shows, and it was for 2 workshops, and it was for a 2-minute video for $21,000. So probably under $1,000 for a drag show, if it was funded that way. Correct?
Here it is.
Yeah. But does that sound reasonable? What I just said?
Again, I have it here. I haven't looked at this document in detail in a little while, but it is all here. It's also on the internet. Again, I'm not sure how funding drag shows abroad helps our national security interests.
Sure.
Which is what we're discussing. And remember, I brought that up,
Which
sir,
could be why.
because
Let me yield
because I
back.
heard
I'm gonna
that
yield
I
back
heard
my
that they
time.
were not
I'm gonna
doing
take
it. Here
back-
it is.
Sure, I'm going to take back my time. And just one more question. Was that rescinded by any chance, that grant?
This may have been pulled.
Wait. So we didn't spend $21,000 on 13 drag shows, 2 workshops, and a 2-minute video. So $1,000 on the
So that's
drag
why
show
you
brought
should
up.
not be upset that we're not funding drag shows. If they're not doing it, why is it a big deal to not fund it?
All right,
And if
thank
they're
you.
doing it,
I'll yield back
let's
my
not
time.
fund
I'll
it.
take back my time. So this is interesting. So you're worried about a grant that never occurred, which you could have told us up front. No, it was rescinded. It was rescinded. So anyway, the pride flags that you're so passionate about cost somewhere between, if you look online, $25 to $40. We are micromanaging, pedantically dealing with this budget at such a small level in order to make certain people in your base happy and in your caucus happy who've built a brand around hate. So in doing so, you're doing the silliness of determining whether $25 flags can come out of the appropriations budget. That is pedantic and crazy, quite honestly, that's what we're debating. We have a drought, genocide, child labor, child marriage, disease, famine, malnutrition, droughts, all sorts of things that we could be dealing with. And what we are dealing with is talking about a $25 flag or a rescinded grant. Now, let's just be honest among friends that this isn't for appropriations purposes. We're doing this because you're desperate to get the votes together, and you've got some folks who need this sort of stuff who are still not going to vote for it, by the way. I'm willing to bet any of you on whether or not we get the 12 bills done, by the way, through the floor completely. But let's just admit what we're doing. A rescinded grant, that would have been good information to share during your remarks. And a $25 flag is hardly the level that we should be debating here in the Appropriations Committee. And just for the record, in World War II, there was a show called This Is the Army. 113 performances on Broadway, raised $45,000 the first night for the Army Relief Fund, $10 million overall with, guess what? Soldiers in drag. And then they did a movie on this called This Is the Army, and guess who starred in it? Wait for it. Your friend, mine, Ronald Reagan. Ronald Reagan was in the movie This Is the Army about the soldiers doing drag that raised $10 million for the Army Relief Fund. By the way, the highest grossing movie at the time, 3 times what Wizard of Oz had gotten at that point. Now, so for all the worries about, I think you said, the focus on foreign threats that we're dealing with, a pride flag is not a foreign threat. A drag show is not a foreign threat. Ronald Reagan is not a foreign threat. But having this kind of rhetoric on the floor so you can get people who want to pander and fundraise to certain aspects of your base is a threat to this democracy. So I just want to put it out there. I didn't plan on debating, but every time you put this stupid crap up that has nothing to do with appropriations, I'm going to stand up and say something. I yield back.